Let's clap it up, Hakim. Clap it up. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Brakathum, Yahweh Shamar Alathum, Bashim Yahushai to all the sisters. Hey, we got ISUPK Cincinnati, ISUPK Dayton, ISUPK Columbus, all in the chat. Somebody want to say something? No sweat. We live, Hakim. So, leave your.
No sweat. We live, Hakim. So, leave.
All right, we got a lot of feedback. So yeah, everybody just stay muted, and then if you got a question, just come off mute, and then we'll get into the question. So right now, everybody know what we're here for. We're here for the Feast of Dedication. So yeah, let's get it on. Feast of Dedication. Let's get a little background of it. It lasts 8 days, and of course, you wouldn't even know about this if you was in the Christian church. You would think that the Apocrypha was, some video game or some movie. You know what I mean? But this is real life, the Word of God, the Apocrypha. So let's get to it. So before we actually get into the story, right, of Hanukkah, right, we're gonna get a little bit of history, and we'll cut to it. Let's start. Let me get a reader. Let me get the first book of Maccabees. All right, first book of Maccabees, chapter 1.
Wakan, sir. My volume good?
Yeah, you too wild, but it's a lot of feedback. That might be me. Hold on one second. Say something, Aisha.
Check. Mic check 1 2.
That's good. Go ahead.
Would you like First Maccabees, chapter 1 and 1?
Yeah, let's go.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim.
Right. So this is talking about Philip, right? Philip II, he was king of Macedonia, and his son was Alexander. The world calls him Alexander the Great. We call him Alexander the Greek. He was nothing great to us. I know history claims that he's great, but he's nothing great to us. So we call him Alexander the Greek. That's how we've been describing him since I've been in the school. All right, keep going.
Had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
Right. So he smote Darius, right? He smote Darius, the king of the Persians and the Medes. So now, this character in history, right? So Alexander was a real historical character. And so let's get a little bit of information about him. I'm going to put this on the screen, of course. And let me get a different brother read this. And Maisha, you could stay with the scripture. So a different brother can read this. Hold on one second. Let me share it.
I'll read if that's Tawab, sir.
Yeah, that's Tawab. So this is the history channel. Let's get this a little bit right here.
Salakia, sir. I cannot read that. Sorry.
You can't see that?
I can see it, but the letters, am I the only one? It's getting better. It's good. Whatever you're doing, keep doing that. All right. I can make out a little bit. Are you ready, sir?
Go ahead.
Khan. Alexander the Great was an ancient Macedonian ruler and one of history's greatest military minds, who, as king of Macedonia and Persia, established the largest empire the ancient world had ever seen. That whole line I can't read, sir. So like, if you, okay, then we get there. Okay,
yeah. If somebody else need to read it,
that's a little better.
All right.
By turns characteristics and ruthless, brilliant and power hungry, diplomatic, and bloodthirsty, Alexander inspires such loyalty in his men they follow him anywhere and, if necessary, die in the process. Though Alexander the Great died before realizing his dream of something a new realm, his influence on Greek and Asian culture was so profound that it inspired a new historical can I see that word? The Hellenistic period.
All right. So that
All right, so
Hellenistic
that
period
Hellenistic
is
period.
but should I go back on? I think
Should I
that's
go back on?
you,
I think
y'all.
that's
You go back on mute.
you go back on mute.
Cut on concert.
All right. So
All right,
that Hellenistic period
that
is
Hellenistic
important.
period is important.
Y'all thumb that's still on you up.
Y'all thumb that's still on you up.
All right, no sweat. All right. That Hellenistic period is important because this is a period that you can find in the Bible, right? We're gonna get a little bit on the that Hellenistic term as well. So Alexander the Great obviously was the Greek, I should say, was a real person in history. This cat went about conquering different lands, mainly throughout, of course, the Greek lands as well as the Persian lands. All into India, all throughout there, and what they claimed to be much of the known world during that time. So, all right, let's keep going, Maisha, with that, and then we're gonna bounce a little bit so we can get a complete picture.
Khan. This is verse 2. It's First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 2. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. Verse 3. And went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
All right.
Verse 4.
Hold on right there. So Yahweh Thumb said it was choppy. And y'all can use the back chats if y'all need to. Y'all can use the back chats. Yahweh Thumb, you said it's choppy on your end. Anybody else seeing it choppy? It's coming through clear on my end. All right, Most High Christ. That might be you, Yahweh Thumb. All right, keep going.
Verse 4. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
Right, became tributaries. That's important to realize too. These different nations that he conquered, they became tributaries to him, meaning they had to pay, right? They had to pay him. It's like many times Jerusalem, we're in that same position. So countries that you conquer, they're tributaries to you. They owe you, they pay you. You have to pay them or they'll destroy you. Keep going.
Verse 5. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die.
Right. So, of course, he got sick and he died. Right. He died. Keep going.
Verse 6. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
Right. So the scriptures say this, like, and you can see this also in history. Like there was generals, primarily 4 generals. There are a few more people involved, primarily 4 generals, right? And I'm gonna send this link. 1 second. I'm gonna send this link. All right. Keep going.
This is verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, Verse 8, and his servants bear rule, every one in his place. And after his death, they put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Right. So that his empire, right? He conquered many lands and many kingdoms, and these nations were tributaries to him. And the nations, and before he died, his territories, right? His kingdom was split up primarily amongst 4 generals, right? And these generals, they said that they put crowns upon their heads, and then those lands, those territories, those that broken up kingdoms went on to their children, right? Keep going.
Khan, sir. And it's verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus, the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Right. So during this time, of course, now we all kind of look at it as, you know, Edomite is an Edomite, but during that time, and then I mean, I guess still today, Rome was not a friend of the Greeks, right? The Romans and the Greeks often went to war, which is similar to what Esau does today. Esau goes to war against Russia. Esau goes to war against the UK. Like Esau versus Esau has always been a thing. So don't ever make the mistake of thinking if we wouldn't here, there'd be peace in America. America would implode from within because they don't know how to stop fighting each other. Like Esau is a cunning hunter, and that's what he does. All right. So Sakan, I sent some information. Let's see if you can you get that information up on the screen? If you can't, don't sweat it. You could go ahead and start breaking some of that down.
All right, Khan, sir. Let me see if I can get it on the screen. Or you want me to start reading it?
Yeah, you could just read it.
All right, Khan. Give me a second, sir.
Start with the Seleucus.
Khan. Yeah, it's gonna take a minute to get me on this. So let me just read it. This is Seleucus the Victorious. And
well, you know what? Salagi, that's my mistake. Hold on one second.
And you want this? What you about to send me, sir, on screen?
No, I think I got something similar. So I'm gonna share this. Can y'all see that?
I see it, sir. If you could make it bigger. Yep.
Let's read that.
I can't really see. Is it the same thing I got?
No, it's a little different. You can read this if you can see it.
No, I can't see it, sir. I can't read it, sir. Salakia.
I know sweat. What is that? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The Diadochi were Alexander the Great's top generals who, after his sudden death in 323 BC, fought bitter wars in Diochi. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the Diochi Wars to divide and control his vast empire, ultimately establishing the Hellenistic kingdoms like the Ptolemaic Kingdom, Egypt, Seleucid Empire, East, Antigonid, Macedonian. These conflicts reshaped the ancient world, leading to the lasting dynasties and the spread of Greek culture. Right. So this is important to understand the generals who got what. Right. So we see that these were a set of wars between the generals. Now, he divided the land up, but of course, what does Esau do? He conquers more and more. So
Hey, Cap, you frozen if you can hear me. Give 1 second, y'all. Captain's frozen real quick. We're going to bounce back in a minute. Y'all thumb?
Slocky, sir, am I active?
Yeah, I hear you. Yep. Yeah, you good. You Tawab, what's Kite Watch Tawab. Cap is frozen right now, so we'll be right back with what he's talking about. Well, first of all, y'all thumb, you're pass it down. What he's talking, he about to break down, the Greek Empire. It's in between from Malachi to Matthew. This is the history we're bringing out. When you read the Bible, you know what I'm saying? It seems like it's a big gap. This is the gap. And today is a feast of dedication or the rededication, of our temple. And we just giving you the history of it. If y'all give 1 second, my captain will be right back. But this is what he's breaking down. This is where when you see it like in Galatians 3, there's neither Greek nor Jew. This is what it means. And this is why they took it at the Bible, the King James Version of the Bible, because it makes it real clear when you got this, what's called the Apocrypha in it. And what my brother's reading in the Maccabees, this is history. This is real life history. You can see this history in this. You can see it in Greek history, and you can see it in Josephus or quote unquote Jewish, because they got it in there, but real life Israelites, blacks and Hispanic history. Please. Maisha, you got it. You on mute, brother. You on mute. Maisha, you on mute.
Oh, Salaki, sir. I had some of what he was reading on screen. If you'd like me to read some of it just until Cap comes back.
Yeah, come.
All right. The Cap was reading the Diadochi Wars. And it says these wars refer to series of conflicts fought between the generals of Alexander the Great, known as the Diadochi, following his death in 323 BCE, leading to the fragmentation of his vast empire into several Hellenistic kingdoms. What he was talking about when he started. Oh, Slocky, sir, was you going to say something?
No, continue. You got it. Continue.
When Cap was bringing out these words that he wanted us to look up the definition for, and this is just until he comes back, as he breaks it down, these were the wars and the conflicts that were going on in from the kingdoms. And if I may, sir, if I can ask you a question,
please.
That really points to when I read some of this in Galatians 3:28, when it points to Jew nor Greek. If you could speak on that and how people get that confused.
Yeah, Khan, and that's heavy with the brother bringing out, because this is like from Malachi, which is the last book of the quote unquote Old Testament, to Matthew's. And that explains Revelations, the horns and the crowns, because this is what it's talking about right here. It explains Galatians, Jew nor Greek. When people, that's what Christians run to when they say salvation is for everybody. But the premise of that, the context of Galatians 3:28, if it's Jew or Greek, where's bondmen and freemen, Jews and Greeks, and it's also men and women and Jews and Greeks. So it really explains that, because you can understand Alexander the Greek, or the history call him the Great Israel. He's not great or nothing. He's just another oppressor. We call him the Greek because it's just another oppressor oppressing blacks and Hispanics. Just like another oppressor who made, deals. The Romans did make deals with the Israelites, and broke that down. But this just explains the bridge between the quote unquote Old Testament and the quote unquote New Testament, which we know in Israel is just one book. It's a river of the Bible. And they took that out to mess up the river to include other nations. But once you have the history, because the Bible is nothing but a historical record of the Israelites, the chosen ones of God. And this is why they took it out, And we just going in depth of what happened. Please.
This is
and Quadrasar, you got it. Real quick. Y'all throw Quadrasar got it. If y'all want to take over, please.
No, you brothers keep going, man. I just got to the crib.
Y'all thumb. If you let them back, you got it. But if not, we're gonna continue. Go ahead, Masha. Until one of the brothers step in.
The water, sir. This is Galatians chapter 3 and verse 28. there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus.
Now, when they read that, this is a Christian go-to scripture when they try to say salvation is for everybody. You know, the one thing is we can never see God going to no other nation inside the Bible to do anything for them. We don't see God splitting the sea for the Edomites. We don't see God, you know what I'm saying, making the sun stop so Joshua can chase the heathens down. We don't see that. We don't see that. We can literally see that the laws was only given to Israelites. We can read it when it happened, and there's scriptures like in Psalms 147 that the laws was given to Israelites. And then, you know, if your father, let's go with the notion it's for everybody. But if the Bible says the other nation are nothing, picture your father saying to all his other kids, you are nothing. If you're supposed to love everybody, like that's not a, you know, you wouldn't rock with that, right? So we just showing you through biblical history, because we don't need nothing else. But this is what we read now. The Bible is also in the Greek history. They know this. They know this. But continue. But we read
29, sir.
Yeah, please.
This is Galatians chapter 3 and 29. And if ye be Christ, then are ye Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise.
Now this explains according to the promise. Now we can go to Romans because precept must be upon precept. We can go to Romans 9, 3-4 and see who the promise go to. Somebody get that real quick, because the scripture says, let God be true and every man a liar. So what we're going to do is read the Bible according to the promise. Now, here's what Christians mess up. And this is why we're reading the history, the Feast of Dedication, the rededication of our temple. Because a Christian will read Galatians 3 and 28, there's neither Jew nor Greek. Paul, stop. Well, then, if you ain't Jew nor Greek, that knocks out every other nation. Cat's back in here. Of course, he can step in. You got it, sir.
Salakia. I ran into some technical difficulties. So
Okay, sir. We held it
all
down.
right, we lost everybody.
Talk sir. Kaios, Chuba Kaios still here, sir.
Most High in Christ. All right, let's keep going. All right, so where y'all left off at?
So I read some of the Diadochi Wars. I didn't have the exact page that you had, and then we went to Galatians 3 and 28, because in the Diadochi Wars it talked about some of the Greeks. So we ran to 3 and 28 where it says Jew nor Greek, but we can go back to First Maccabees, sir.
Yeah. All right. So somebody you got control of this. Put me like on the big and everybody else small if you could. Baba Shah. Somebody do that for me. Also, somebody give me Hellenist in the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. Go ahead with First Maccabees, Masha.
Khan, sir. First Maccabees 10. This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 11. Sound good, sir?
Go ahead.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
Right.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Yeah, so there was always wicked men in Israel, right? Always brothers looking to turn back to Egypt and serve Pharaoh, or always looking to, be in good graces with the Greeks. You see that, come to life in the future throughout the scriptures as well with the Sadducees and the Pharisees. Like this has always been the way. There's always some coon, right? Some MLK looking to join together and hold hands and make it more comfortable for you instead of being uncomfortable and getting your own. All right. Somebody got Hellenist in the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary?
Con, sir. This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, Pictorial Dictionary, Hellenist page 347, and it reads, non-Greeks who spoke Greek, a term used especially of Jews who made Greek their tongue.
Right. So these are non-Greeks who spoke Greek. And a lot of people, they get this confused in the New Testament, right? They look at neither Jew nor Greek, and they read that and say, see, it doesn't matter if you're a Jew or you're Greek, not knowing that the Greeks that they were talking about were these Greeks here. Read it again.
Con. This is non-Greeks who spoke Greek, a term used especially of Jews who made Greek their tongue, and with it often adapted Greek ideas and practices.
Hold on, slow that down. They often did what?
Often adopted Greek ideas and practices.
Right.
So
you see that today. These people, right? Us in America, we've adopted American ideas and practices. This is not uncommon. There's nothing new up under the sun. You can see this term Hellenistic played out right now today in America. You take on the customs and the practices of Americans. That's what we do. We've been doing it since we've been over here. A lot of it was forced on us, down our throat, right? You either had to get on board or you had a tough time as a slave, right? So that's the thing. You either had to become a Christian or you died. That was it. You wasn't given an option to not being a Christian here when you was in slavery. And so now today you're a slave because you don't want to upset your slave master. You're a Christian now because you don't want to upset your slave master. Let's keep going.
It's verse 12. So this device pleased them. Then certain of the people who were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Right.
So this king, again, you look at any so-called leader in America today, they give you license. The American law says 2 men can go and get a marriage license. That would be an example of the same type of evil that they had during these biblical times. Like the king gave them license to go and be sinners, saying it's okay. You're going to take on the customs. You're going to do the things that Greeks do. Go ahead.
Verse 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise.
Right. This is a precept right here. This is a gym precept, a sports precept, basketball, any major sport. This is what they did during Greek times. They gave you something to distract you from being poor, something to distract you from corrupt cops, something to distract you from all the harm and terror that they were causing you. And during this time, it wasn't basketball or football. It was gladiators in the arena. Some of the, how many epic movies have you seen based on gladiators? Like dozens, damn near 100, right? This was something that they did. They built a place of exercise just so you wouldn't know how poor you were. Go ahead.
Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised.
Right. And hold on, stop right there. How do you make yourself uncircumcised? You got to speak up because I might not be looking at that.
If I could.
Go ahead.
You make yourself uncircumcised by following the way of the heathen, leaving your own laws.
That's it. Basically this, when this is not talking about physical circumcision, right? Because once that skin is gone, it's a wrap. you can't put it back. It's gone, right? So this isn't talking about a physical circumcision. This is talking about some other type of circumcision, which would be spiritual, meaning you've now become clean. You've now made yourself in one with the covenant of the Most High, right? When you're circumcised on the 8th day, you come to the Passover. You don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, or lobster, right? All that stuff. That's right. That's right, sis. Right, turning away from the law. Like that's how you become uncircumcised, is by not following what the Lord gave you. Let's keep going.
Kind, sir. And made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen.
They did what?
And joined themselves to the heathen.
Right. You see that today. A ton of us will join themselves to the heathen, as opposed to us. People look at us like we are the nutcases, like we are the fools on the corner yelling, speaking nonsense, when in actuality, we are the only people in the ISUPK that's really standing for the Lord, right? We're standing for the Lord. We're telling you, don't conform to the ways of the world. That's in the Bible. Don't be conformed to this world. You can be in the world, but don't be of the world, right? So many of us throughout times, we've done the same thing. So you fit in, right? What does the Bible say? The Bible says, why trimmest thou thy way to make love? To get love. You don't need to get love from these people. It's okay to be hated. Matter of fact, Christ said, if they hated me, they damn sure are going to hate you, right? Keep going.
Kind, sir. And joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of the two realms.
Read that again.
Verse 16. Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of two realms.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy. Verse 18, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt.
Right.
But,
so who was Ptolemy?
The king of Egypt, sir.
Go ahead, Sakan. You can read that little excerpt that I sent you now.
Come on. I'm about to say a devil. It's a clean answer, but let me God. So when we start from the beginning?
Yeah, just where it says Seleucus.
Okay, come on. Seleucus the victorious. And y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come. In 358 BC to 281 BC was a Macedonian Greek general, officer, and successor of Alexander the Great, who went to found the eponymous Seleucid Empire, led by the Seleucid dynasty. Initially a secondary player in the power struggles following Alexander's death, Seleucid rose to become the total ruler of Asia Minor, Syria, Mesopotamia, and the Iranian plateau, assuming the title the Basilisk king. The Seleucid Empire was one of the major powers of the Hellenistic world until
Hold on. Don't speed past that. Read that again.
The Seleucid Empire was one of the major powers of the Hellenistic world. It was overcome by the Roman Republic and Parthian.
Go ahead.
And Parthian Empire in the late 2nd and early 1st century.
Yep. So now it's starting to come together, right? This is coming off the heels of Alexander the Greek, right? Alexander the Greek conquered all these different lands and territories. And so his generals, they split those territories up. One of those generals, right, Seleucus, right? I believe that's how you pronounce it, Seleucus, right? He gained the territory. All right, after he died, he had more and more descendants, and they reigned. And what did they establish? The Seleucid Empire. This is the empire during this time, right, where now you see Jerusalem, right, is being conquered by the Seleucid Empire. And this is how it all starts, right? This is it. It goes back, and that's why in chapter 1 it spoke about Alexander the Greek. Take me back up, Marsha, to Alexander, to chapter 1, verse verse 7.
Count on, sir. This is First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Keep going.
This is verse 8. And his servants bear rule, everyone in his place.
Keep going up.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them. Many years and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Keep going.
And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Right now, that's who Israelites were under. They were under this Seleucid Empire, and this descendant, right? This descendant of Seleucus the Victorious, right? He's now acting like we're tributaries to him now, right? So that's who we're up against at this time, was the Greeks, and you saw how the Greek Empire came about after the split from Alexander and his 4 generals. One of these generals went on to establish the Seleucid Empire, and his descendants reigned after he passed and continued to reign up until the time till we get now here with the Maccabees. Now, drop back down to where you were reading from. I can't remember, Salakia.
Count on, sir. I believe it was 18. Yeah, it was 18, sir.
That's the what?
God.
And made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death.
Now, Ptolemy, the original Ptolemy, one of his generals, one of Alexander's generals, was in charge. Remember, he was the king of Egypt. He was given the Egyptian kingdom after they conquered it. And so, of course, his descendants reigned after he passed away, and they were called Ptolemy. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude.
All right, now we get into it. Now, after he went, Antiochus went and conquered Egypt. Now, mind you, Egypt, the families of those generals, right? The forefathers of those families, right? The Ptolemaic Empire and the Seleucid Empire, they were once all up under Alexander. So now you see fighting, right? After the kingdom was divided up, and many years later, now the greed sets in. The same thing that you see today. It's not enough to have, what was that? Donald Trump was at one point looking to see if he could get Greenland. that ain't never been an American territory. He's like, yeah, I think we'll take Greenland. Like Esau can't get enough. That's why the scriptures say, if grape gatherers came by night, would they not eat to their field? If thieves came, would they not just steal what they need and then go? Not Esau. He's going to gobble up everything. He's not happy till he gets all the resources. If brothers got a question, go ahead. You could just say Salaki and jump in. Go ahead, Doc.
Salaki, sir. So this is actually, when they say a mixed multitude, would that be just like the American army today?
I'm not sure what you mean mixed multitude. Where you read that at?
When it says, I thought we just read it, sir. Salakia. It says that he, it says that at the end of 20, with a great multitude.
Yeah, that's not the same as a mixed multitude.
Sir. Okay. So this, but it is a mixed army, or it's not like a mixed army?
Just read it again.
I was wrong. It says 17 says wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, but that's still not mixed.
No, so you're thinking of something different. This is just a great multitude means a many people in his army.
Kind of what sir.
All right, let's keep going.
It's verse 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light.
Ain't that always the way? Ain't that always the way when they come and conquer us? Right, because these things were made of pure gold, right? You could read back in Exodus how we put things together, right? How the Lord gave brothers, the spirit to work with their hands and craft things of gold, right, and of metals. And so when they ransacked the temple and they conquered us, then they stole these things out of our temple, right? And the candlestick, everyone knows this is speaking about the menorah. Go ahead.
And proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof. 22. And the table of the showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel, right, in every place where they were.
Keep 26. Going.
So that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed.
Damn. Keep going.
Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah.
Hold right there. Go ahead, Sakun.
Come on, sir. What we're reading is so heavy because, like, this is the same thing now. We see Donald Trump doing that to our Venezuelan brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, unliving them with bragging, talking about a fisher boat, with 5 brothers supplying the whole east, the western or southern coast of, man, we know that ain't it. But the devil loves to unalive. And it's just the same thing with bragging about it. I don't know. That's just what I got up out of that. So, Salakia.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, you being conquered as a people. Put yourself in the mind state of the Venezuelans right now. Like, you got somebody that's strong and powerful. You know what I'm saying? You look at the military might of America, and it's the number one superpower, right? The number one superpower as far as weapons. Now, I think these other countries have gained a ton of ground over the past years, but America is still, I guess at this point, or, by maybe a small margin, I don't know, but they're still the number one superpower. And so, they're going to Venezuela, which Venezuela ain't no pushover, but it's not in America, right? Like, no one spends more of their national budget on, military equipment and weapons of war than America does. And so if you put yourself in the mind state of the average Venezuelan, you're going to be in despair. The scriptures say, what was that? Read that part again about the sisters that were attractive. Like they change. Like, your whole mental changes when you're being conquered by people. You see that part, Maisha? Don't even worry about it. I just thought it was. Go ahead, if you got it. I'm gonna come to you next, Quatazar. Go ahead, Maisha.
Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she sat in the marriage chamber, was in heaviness.
Everybody was heavy, man. Everybody. And again, if you imagine you on your island and you see people roll up in ships, it's, it ain't something that you're going to be happy about. You're going to be in lamentation. You're going to pray to the Lord that you're safe. You're going to pray that none of your loved ones die. You're going to pray that your government is there in the morning. Go ahead, Quatazar.
Khan, sir. That's why it's such an evil and wicked, vile thing to celebrate Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what happened to our First Nation brothers and sisters, man. That's Slocky. That was it, though.
Damn right. Let's keep going.
Slocky, sir. I think it was the end of 26, and it says, the beauty of women was changed.
Yeah. Keep going.
I'll go back down. Khan, sir. And it's 29. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities and of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them. But all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore.
Somebody let me get Psalms, pause right there, Marsha. Let me get Psalms 55 and 20. Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 20, sir?
Verse 20.
Come. And it reads, he that putteth forth, it's like it. He that putteth forth his hands against such.
Read it again.
He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
He put forth his hands against people that are at peace with him. Read that scripture again, Maisha.
Khan, sir. When they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city.
Go up one more up.
And after 2 years fully expired, the king had sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude.
So he sent somebody that can speak smooth words. Keep going.
And spake peaceable words unto them.
He did what?
Spake peaceable words unto them.
Now, Zakun, you go ahead with the next verse.
Come. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
So this cat came in that same spirit. Keep going.
But war was in his heart.
But war was in his heart. Maya should pick it up.
And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit.
Mhm.
For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel.
Yeah. Israel was at peace with him. And what did he do? He spoke peaceably unto them, but war was in his heart. He destroyed Israel. Keep going.
And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall, with mighty towers, and made it stronghold for them.
Right? They took over Jerusalem, built walls up, made it a stronghold. Go ahead.
And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood onto every side of the sanctuary and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Whereupon the city was made a habitation of strangers and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her.
Listen, that's so heavy. You think about what the Native Americans had to deal with. Like the land was strange to them. Imagine just seeing plains and plains of buffalo roaming. And when you look up, it's cities, right? Cities with mechanical factories or mining fields or whatever it is that America did and came over and ruined the land for the Native Americans. Like the inhabitants of the land in Jerusalem, they didn't recognize it anymore. There was a lot of sin going on. They couldn't relate to it. So what did they do? They fled. That's what the scriptures just said. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning. Her Sabbaths in reproach. Her honor in contempt. As had her been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people,
right?
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols.
Stop right there. Like this right here is, go ahead, Sagan.
Now, Salaki, sir, that's the spirit of Christianity right there.
Yeah.
Everybody be together. God loves everybody. That spirit, that wicked spirit, been on the earth since then. And in fact, maybe since Genesis. But I just want to point that out, sir.
Definitely since Genesis, because who was in Genesis trying to get one language? Nimrod.
Khan, sir.
The Tower of Babel. Okay, sir, if you don't have a good set knock, you could just hide your camera. If you got a good setting where you can set up, then that's the out. You could hide your camera for now though. All right. So that's definitely the spirit of America. That's definitely the spirit of Christianity. What do many now? Let me see if somebody could get this. you talk to people on the streets and we tell them that they're Israelite, what do they say that they are? Hey, how can I stop this from just showing me? I'd rather show everybody. Like, can we set it so like is me on the left side?
Me on the left side.
And then everybody else stay on the small.
And then everybody else stay on the small.
But they got to mute. I don't know who that is.
They got to mute. I don't know who that is.
Sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, my phone keep going in and out, sir. Salaki.
Don't sweat it out. Don't sweat it. We just show everybody on the screen.
Sir.
You can mute, Kaiser. All right. Who's gonna answer? Y'all with them? You getting some extra feedback. I don't know if you got something playing over the speaker, but every time you come off speaker, I hear a lot of repeating. Go ahead, y'all with them if you was gonna answer.
No, it was choppy. I was trying to hear exactly what you were saying.
I think that's on you. Everybody else said it's Tawab. I'm not sure why it's choppy for you. You might hop out and hop back in. Maybe it'll solve it.
It'll solve it.
Salaki, you clear now. What was the question?
So the question is this: when we on the streets battling people, right, and we tell them we're Israelite, and we tell them Christ is black, this is pretty general, so you might not get it the way that I can't find a better way to ask it without giving it away. What do many black people say instead of accepting that they're Israelite and Christ was black?
If I could,
anybody.
Salaki,
anybody.
They say color don't matter.
They say color don't matter.
They say that, but they say something. Y'all, them you gonna have to mute out. I don't know.
You gonna have to mute out. I don't know.
But they say something before that.
They say they're a child of God or they're a Christian.
That's it. Give it up. They say I'm a Christian. It don't matter what you tell them. You say Christ is black, you're an Israelite. And before they even want to be black, they say I'm a Christian before anything. Like, and that's Sakan, that's what you were speaking to, that whole spirit of the king telling the people, everybody should abandon their laws. Your law, don't even worry about being an Israelite. Just be what I am. You follow my laws, be a Christian. That's that same spirit where whoever's in charge, they want you to diminish yourself and just become part of the collective. And you know what's so evil about being part of the collective? Israelites, we always end up on the bottom. They say everybody be a part of America and be American and don't worry about being black or being Hispanic or Native American, just be American. Well, here's the problem with just being American. We always get the short end of a stick in America. Like, we don't get to reap the benefits as, all these other nations do. In fact, the scriptures were so right when it said the heathen among you would get up very high and you would come down very low. Heathens come over here and they're automatically better than you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, automatically off the rip. And not only that, they know that they're better than you because they look down on you and they treat you like they're better than you. So absolutely, that's the spirit of many black people. They say, before I'm black, I'm Christian, because they think being a Christian is making them closer to the Most High, and it's not. It's actually making you further away from the Most High.
Hey, Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
Real quick, if you see the thing that says it got two, and then it got a main one, and people on the side. If you tap that, it'll make you the center, and all of us on the side.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing now. But it just keep putting somebody else up. So I ain't gonna sweat it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay, no sweat, sir. Salaki.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Wakan, sir. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Right.
Good night. Slocky, sir. This is the modern world Christianity.
Right here.
Right.
You reading about it right now.
Yeah, this is it.
Keep going.
40 letters message. I think it's 44 or 45. And for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice, and
what
drink.
Did they do?
Forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice.
Keep going.
And drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
They're coming directly up against what the Most High gave us, right? The Most High gave us the ability to have drink offerings and sin offerings and burnt offerings and all these different things that we did in the temple. And he ordered us, right? He commanded us to keep the Sabbath. But what did the scripture say that they did? The king wanted us to profane the Sabbath, meaning to not keep it, to go against it. Keep going.
And
if I could, sir,
go ahead, Art.
Go ahead, Art.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Kind of, just real quick. What this is going into is such a heavy point because, like Officer Sakan was speaking on earlier, this goes into why Paul had to do the work he had to do, because after generations and hundreds of years of this going on, Israel, they don't understand who they are anymore. You understand? This is why we see no Jew nor Greek. And not only that, if I could, I got a history book. I would like to read a passage out of it, if I could, sir.
What you got?
What you got?
Oh, Most High in Christ. So this is Salaki. This is Jews in the Mediterranean diaspora, and this is what's this? The chapter 5. It talks about the high assimilation. Now, in general, it just talks about the high assimilation of what? Jews that assimilated to the Greek culture. Specifically in this passage, it's talking about the Egyptian Jews. But you got to remember, as we just read, Alexander and his homies, they conquered Egypt also. So when it says Egyptian Jews, it's literally talking about Greek Jews. It's the same thing because they were conquered at this time. The passage reads, it says, we know of a number of Egyptian Jews who were highly assimilated. Though their assimilation took many different forms, it is natural that we should know of so many cases in this category, since Jews who assimilated to the degree of losing their Jewish distinctiveness were resented by other Jews. So this goes to show you the beginning of what we see when Paul says there's no Jew nor Greek. History itself understands that as they lost their culture, as they lost their swag of who they were, their spirit of the Lord, the Jews that so-called kept it, they started to resent them. Like, man, how you gonna go over there and serve under Alexander? How you gonna go over there and serve under Ptolemy? You really gonna do that? Come on, you're supposed to be strong in this, man. You know who we serve, you know what we're about. But they didn't understand that, as we see, this was a part of prophecy. And this is what Paul went to go fix, essentially. Salaki.
Yep. Keep going.
Khan, sir. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beast.
Stop right there. So they set up chapels. Read that part again. They set up what?
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols.
Now you see that in the New Testament where Israelites were trying to go into the temple of Diana. Somebody see if they can find that, where they were I can't remember who it was. Damn. Somebody see if they can find Temple of Diana. See if you can look that up. Keep going, Maisha.
Khan, sir. set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanliness and profanation.
Right. So this king, he's looking to do everything, to undo everything that the Lord told you to do. The Lord told you to sacrifice on the 8th day. I'm gonna come to you next, Sakan. The Lord said sacrifice on the 8th day. He wanted them to do away with that. He wanted them to eat abominations. He didn't want them to keep the Sabbath. This is where, again, to y'all thumb's point, this is a lot what was reinforced in what you see in the New Testament. Now there was always generations of Israelites that didn't live amongst the Commonwealth. How do we know? Because the law tells us. The law tells us if your father married a heathen, right, you were kicked out of the Commonwealth of Israel and couldn't come back into the 10th generation, right? If you had a flat nose, if you didn't keep the Passover, if if you were not circumcised on the 8th day, you were kicked out of the Commonwealth of Israel and you went to go live amongst the heathens. So if you look at the generations and in previous times that were kicked out, along with this, again, it's like people who came out of the Maccabean era, right, under the Seleucid Empire, they were also made to do evil, or it was reinforced among them to do evil. And so there's a lot of cleanup to do until this day. So the work continues until this day. You understand? Go ahead, Sakan. You can bring it up.
Come on, this is
this day.
Go ahead, Sakan.
Come on, this is the book of Acts, chapter 19 and the 24th verse. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which makes silver shrines for Diana.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Keep going.
Okay. Brought no small gain unto the craftsmen, whom, this verse 25, whom he called together with workmen like of occupation, and said, sirs, we know that by this craft we are wealth. Let me drop down to 27, sir, if I may.
Go ahead.
Come on. So that not only this our craft is in danger to set not a knot, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth. So
even what scripture was that?
That was the book of Acts, sir, chapter 19.
So you see, even in Acts, they were still dealing with Greek gods. Now the Greek gods became Roman gods under different names. You can find that in history too. The Romans took the exact same gods that the Greeks had, and they changed the name. One example was Zeus, right? Zeus was the Greek name. I think Jupiter is the Roman name, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody see if they can find that, confirm that. But the Romans took the same gods and gave them different names. They gave them the planet names as opposed to the names that the Greeks came up with. I could have that backwards, but it's the same gods. Right. So to this day, you see Diana being worshipped under the Romans. And what was she under the Greeks? Go ahead, Sakan.
Like it, sir.
Artemis, right?
You was
Diana
correct. Zeus is.
Go ahead.
No, so like it, sir. Zeus is the king of the Greek gods and had many other names. Yeah. One of his roles was Jupiter, the Roman name. I was just saying you was correct, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So the same God. So all the way up into Acts, you saw that these fake gods, Greek gods, Roman gods, were still being worshipped by Israelites. Again, same thing today. Brothers and sisters celebrate New Year or Christmas coming up, and New Year's, right? And New Year's is the celebration of Janus. You know what I mean? So you're still celebrating the same things that they were celebrating in the New Testament a couple thousand years ago. So ain't nothing new under the sun. Let's keep going.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 49. To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
Mm-hmm.
And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
Right. So he didn't. The king did not want Israelites to be Israelites. So much so, if you were caught practicing the customs of the Israelites, the king said you should die. Meaning, it was a death penalty offense to be an Israelite. You just had to be, a Greek. That's what you had to be. You had to be a Greek. Go ahead. Somebody pull up Quadzar. I think you should be able to do it. Pull up the Blue Letter Bible and find me. You can go to Galatians 3:28 and let's pull up that word Greek in the Blue Letter Bible. Let's keep going, Masha.
Salaki, Cap, can I I want to ask you when it was just talking about they didn't want us to be Israelites. This could fall into Psalms 83 when they said they when they was talking about how they conspired and said that the name of Israel wouldn't be no more.
I mean, this is after that, but of course it definitely lines up perfectly with how the heathens take care of us. I mean, not take care of us, Salakia. How the heathens are against us. So absolutely it can be used as a precept. Of course, this is later in time, but it's the same spirit that the heathens have even today. Even today, like it's better for us not to, more or less acknowledge our blackness. Just being American. Somebody give me this. Again, it might be kind of general how I word it. So I'm gonna try to make it specific without giving it to you. When black people get pulled over by the police and the video is viral and all the white people see, give me something that white people say a black person should have done. Go ahead, Maisha.
Just comply.
Just comply. That's another one. Okay, let me reword it then, because they definitely say that. I can't even think of how to word it because I'm not good at wording these questions. But the whole spirit, I just give it to you. The whole spirit of Americans, they say, yeah, you should just fly under the radar. You should just be a good citizen. You should just be like me. Like white people want you to be like them. And then in their mind, they say, you won't get hurt by the police if you're just like a good American. If you just pay your taxes, if you just, comply, if you just be a good citizen. Like in their mind, they think that you ever conversate with an Edomite who's so oblivious to his own white privilege, he doesn't even understand it doesn't matter what you do as a black person. Like there's black people, like famous actors with millions of dollars. They didn't came on screen and say, yeah, I was in fear of my life. Who was the director that went to the bank, was trying to cash a check from one of the movies he just did, and they called the police on him? Anybody remember that? This was not too long ago, maybe last year before last. My point is this: it don't matter what we do as black people. If you could try the biggest, you could show the most teeth. You could be Steve Harvey. You could be the biggest coon. You could be Tim Scott, who's that senator. You could be who was the HUD guy? The brain surgeon in Trump's cabinet. He was over HUD. He was a doctor. Ben Carson. You could be Ben Carson, right? It doesn't matter how much you integrate yourself with America. Esau would still hate you. So that's the whole point of what we're trying to get to with this scripture. And to answer your question, Isaiah, they absolutely, right, don't want black people to express their blackness, if that makes sense. So we've all felt it personally in our lives before, I'm sure. And so that same spirit is saying, yeah, we're gonna make Israel basically disappear. They've been trying to do that forever, and they're still trying to do it today. Go ahead, Maisha. You was gonna say something. I'm coming to you next, Sakon.
Oh, the guy's name was Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler, yeah, Ryan Coogler. He was in the bank. I forget what movie he was coming off of, but it was a huge success, and he had a check that he was trying to cash. Yeah, it was the Black Panther movie. Yeah, like imagine that. Like you just made one of the biggest films in history, in cinematic history, and you go to the bank to make some money or cash a check or whatever he was trying to do, and you get the police called on you. Now, you think Martin Scorsese ever went through that? I can pretty much guarantee you he hasn't. You think, some other famous white directors, this only happens to us. This doesn't happen to them. They don't expect you to be that. So anyway, go ahead, Sakan. You was gonna bring out something?
Comic-Con, sir, and like you brought up earlier, there's no new thing under the sun. They have a perpetuate hatred towards us. Like the Army vet, in South Carolina in the 40s, Isaac Woodward, he came off the train, and long story short, they beat him up and made him blind. He just fought for this country. He fought for the oppressor, and he still got beat up, disrespected, and was made blind. So it just goes to show that this, our oppressor, this world would never love us, man.
Yeah.
Would never love us.
No, you really can't get any more integrated than that to go overseas and damn near die for a country who, what further integration can you do? Right? You're a Christian, right? You're celebrating the holidays and customs of America, and then you're in Esau's military and you're going to fight overseas. Like, you're fully integrated at that point, and you would think like you would get a modicum of respect or honor from them, but you don't. Instead, you get beat and blinded. Let's keep going.
Wakan, sir. This is First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 51. In the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit every one that forsook the law, and they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Now, the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar.
Go ahead.
And builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets.
They totally came up against what the Lord made clean, right? That altar is for clean animals, but instead they sacrifice unclean animals on that altar, the abomination of desolation. Like, they totally went against everything that the Lord designed for us to be holy and separate and clean, and made it vile, disgusting, and evil. Keep going.
And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire.
Right. And this is why a lot of the things that throughout history, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, you can go and find, you had to go and hide these things. Why? Because these bastards and other nations like them that conquered us, they would rip up the books and burn them. And brothers would flee to go and save these records somewhere. And these records are, you probably ain't uncovered half the records that were, hidden by brothers throughout history. The scriptures say this: the earth will help the woman, right? Meaning we're going to find, the earth is going to bring forth more of these treasures, more of these records. There is more and more coming out. We just ain't privy to all of them because they don't want all of them to come out. But all of these records is going to come out, right? I've been in the school long enough to learn that the Lord is going to reveal all these things that's hidden unto us, and it's going to come out. And at some point, there's going to be no question who black people in America are, who Hispanics are, who Native Americans are. The earth is going to help the woman. These treasures are going to come out the earth to prove who we are as a people. Keep going.
Verse 57. And whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
Damn. Like, if you were caught keeping the law, you were put to death. Which again, if I'm in some Rome or Ephesus or Corinth or Greece, and somebody come preaching, talking about you an Israelite and you need to keep the laws of God, I'm like, no, go away. You know what I mean? So imagine the same things we have to go through today. Like these brothers had to go and clean up this mess because people were literally afraid to be Israelites. Like imagine going and prophesying unto people throughout these different lands, right? You've been oppressed for generations, and now that you're free to be an Israelite, you don't want no parts of it. Same thing with people today. They don't want no parts of it. They don't want to anger the slave master. We're not being beaten anymore. We're not being oppressed. I'm going to be a Christian, not my Jesus. That's what people say. Not my Jesus. That's what we got to deal with today. And it's been the same way throughout history. Keep going.
Kind of what sir. This is verse 58. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the cities. Now, the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of God, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them.
They were totally evil, right? They killed the woman, they killed the baby, and the person who circumcised them. Like, now, tell me that doesn't strike fear in the heart of people, right? When you're trying to honor what the Lord gave you, and here's some evil nation ruling over you. The Lord is going to see it through in the end, though. Keep going.
Kind of what sir. Now, the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the altar, which was upon the altar of God, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore, the rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And there was very great wrath upon Israel.
All right. We're going to get into the second chapter. And of course, this was more kind of historical background with the Seleucid Empire and how the whole Maccabean revolt came about, right? You can see the oppression. So you can see, again, the scriptures say this: oppression maketh a wise man mad, right? And these brothers saw the oppression that they were going through with a king who didn't even want them to, honor their culture or honor God, right? And so now you can see, you kind of got the background of where this Maccabean revolt is coming from. So let's get into chapter 2, and then of course, on the closing, we'll cover kind of the meat and potatoes of it. So let's keep going. Let's race through it. Let me get a different reader, somebody with a good connection, and pick it up in chapter 2.
Slaggy, sir, while we switching readers, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So they were keeping the customs even when they were going to be unalived. Like,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like they said, well, we just going to do it anyway and take what come with it.
Absolutely. And that's why we should never, ever break the law, right? Brothers and sisters that know the truth, we should never, ever break the law, because there was people that didn't break the law unto death. We're here for you. You don't have any priest coming to put you to death, or any nation saying that you can't be an Israelite, right? But these brothers and sisters went against death to keep the law. That's how staunch they were for the Lord. So I'm gonna come to you, Sakan. So that's why brothers should always live a life that the Lord would be like happy to see you living. Like again, never look back. Never look back to the old man. That old man is dead. We are new creatures in Christ. So everybody now, should live the type of life that if you know the Lord is looking at you, like the Lord will be proud of what I'm doing. Go ahead, Sakan.
Come, sir. Two things. One, I do the reading, unless
that's what
want to read. And like you were saying, even the Africans, the bone eaters had us in the Babylonian Empire with Abshat and Meshach and Abednego and Daniel. It's the same thing. We was willing to risk our life to keep the commandments. Mm-hmm. Daniel went into the lion's den. Like, he's not going to serve no other God. Neither the brothers. I know I need to get brushed up on the Hebrew names, but Abshat, the Christians, like, that's how I know it. Abshat, Meshach, and Abednego, they was willing to go, to be unalive. So that's just our culture. We'll rather, true Israelites, true followers of the Lord, we'd rather give up our life, because what we know is we'll come back, and that's just, our strength. But I'll do the reading, so I'm ready.
All right, let's keep going.
Count out of one, This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 1. Salakia. In those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest.
That's Mattathias.
I'm sorry. I'm going to read it again. Chapter 2, verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorib of Jerusalem, and dwelt in Madin. And he had 5 sons: Johanan, called Cadius, Simeon, called the Sai, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar, called Varan, and Jonathan, whose surname was Appius. Verse 6. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judea and in Jerusalem, he said, "Woe is me, wherefore I was born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and dwelt therefore wherein it was delivered into the hand of the enemies, of the enemies, and the sanctuary into the hand of the strangers. Her temple is become as a man without glory."
Like, imagine you living in Jerusalem, right? And you've seen the glory of the Most High. You've seen brothers and sisters keep the law. You've seen the Lord have your back. You've seen your kingdom established. And you look up one day, you say, "Woe is me that I have seen this destruction in Jerusalem. I've seen the Lord's altar and his temple defiled. I've seen heathens rule over us. I've seen where we can't even be Jews." Like, this brother not only loved the Lord, but had an immense love for his people. Keep going.
Verse 9. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation have had not a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11. All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she is become a bond slave.
Right.
Verse 12. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste.
Right.
And the Gentiles have profaned it.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 13. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? Then Mattathias. Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned very sore.
This brother had good sons too. His sons rode with him. A lot of us, our hope and our prayers is that the kids that we had before the truth would eventually come in and be a part of the truth. Or if you came in the truth now and your kids are older, like, to have your sons roll with you so heavy, like, I think it's beautiful, right? Imagine having even your old homies that you grew up in the world with some of them, if they come in, like it's truly a miracle for God. Some of the niggas that we knew in the world, you know what I'm saying? But imagine having all your sons roll with you, like you all not only loved the Lord, but had an immense love for your people. So much so, man, you saw what was going on and you just rent your clothes and put on sackcloth and just went into full lamentation, full mourning to see the condition of your people. Keep going.
Con out of one con. This is the book of First Maccabees 2 and verse 15. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Modin to make them sacrifice. Verse 16. And when many of Israel came into them, Mattathias also and his sons came. Mattathias also and his sons came together. Verse 17. Then answered the king's officers and said unto Mattathias on the wise, Thou art a ruler and a honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like all the other heathens have done. Yea, and the men of Judea also, and such as remain at Jerusalem, so shalt thou that thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and they and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards.
Listen, Commander Gianna said that he went through this. Some snake comes and try to offer you the bag. That's what's happening here. They see that Mattathias is a strong man and has people follow him, right? He's a leader amongst men. And even the heathen recognized the strength of him and his sons and his brethren. And so what did he do? What do they do with many of the people, of the black people that you see now? You think some of these black people you think some of these black people got where they got on talent alone? They didn't. They took the bag. They became traitors to their people. Again, a lot of people look at Jay-Z, and of course, I love this music coming up. You know what I'm saying? Mid to late 90s, love this music coming up. But what he did with that Colin Kaepernick situation was vile and disgusting. Like, to me, you see brothers, they give up a certain amount of themselves to become part of this nation. And they're raised up because of it. Same thing that they're trying to do here with Mattathias. Look, you'll be a friend unto the king. You'll have riches. Like, who doesn't want that stuff? Who doesn't want that? If I wasn't in the truth, right? Now I can't even say that because I can't see myself getting down with the devil. But there's many brothers that would look at and be like, I want to be a friend with Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? I would love a silver and riches and a title, and who wouldn't want that? Like, everyone wants to live good with money in their pocket and to have land and women and everything else. But it takes a special brother to be like, nah, I don't want none of that. I'm really riding for my people on this one. I'm not gonna be down with this evilness that you got going. And that's even in the world. I'm gonna come back to y'all with them. That's even in the world, right? Of course, in the scriptures, these brothers, first and foremost, love the Lord above anything. But in the world, it's a special kind of brother that can turn down that bad. Turn down that bad and say, nah, that's slimy. I ain't doing that. Go ahead, y'all with them.
Salaki, sir, can y'all hear me?
Go ahead.
Most High Christ. I was just gonna say, just like that Michigan coach, you know what I'm saying? He got a little bit of power. Sorry, sir. My fault. Yeah, like that Michigan coach, that brother, man, he got a little power. As soon as he got a little power, he already had one Edomite. He said, go ahead, let me get a little Edomite on the side. He was probably about to get a whole horde of Edomites because that's all he ever wanted to love. The brother was also recorded talking about how, you know what I'm saying, he don't see color. He got his wife. He got mixed kids, this, that, and the third. So he don't see color. And what that tells you is, as he grows in stature, it's not for his people. Mm-hmm. As he grew in stature, he could have became the head of all football, whatever. Mm-hmm. It would have not been for the benefit of his people. It could have only been for the benefit of them. Why? Because that's who he gave his greatest love to. That's who he married. That's who he honored. That's who he did it for. See, he was a great American. Just like a lot of, like I read earlier, a lot of brothers became great Alexander Jews or great Egyptian Jews. He was a great American. And that's exactly the problem. We got to get rid of great Americans and get back to Israelites. Get back to being who God called us to be. Salaki. But yeah, that man, he coached Michigan. I don't know if he coached Michigan. Salaki.
Yeah, no, that's actually a heavy point. Like that's a perfect example. I bet he see color now. I guarantee you, he didn't see color before. I guarantee you, he see color now because they are going to crucify his black ass for sure. Let's keep going.
Count out of one count. There's a book of First Maccabees.
Oh, Salaki, my fault. I just want to say he coached me.
Go
ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spoke with a loud voice. Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away, every one of them from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. Verse 21. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion either on the right hand or the left. Verse 23. Now, when we had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment, which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbid to slew his to show his anger according to the judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Verse
Listen,
25.
You want to see zeal? Read that part again. Read that little section again. Now this is zeal for the Lord. You see something evil that's happening, right? Let alone you committing evil yourself. You see something evil that's happening, and this is where we all need to be. Like we don't need to suffer sin. Let our brothers suffer sin. Like this is the house of the Lord right here, and we're gonna act that way. Go ahead.
Kind of one count. This book of First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 24. Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbid to show his anger according to the judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
Keep going.
Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. Verse 26. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Pinus did unto Zabrin, the son of Shalom.
Go ahead.
Real quick, that's the Levite who when it was getting the law. That's how the Levites got the covenant.
I believe so. I have to look it up because I don't remember off the top the name, but I believe so.
Verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Now again, you bring that up. This was the same thing that Moses did. You know, Moses, like, you want to stand for the Lord. The Levites rushed to his side. You know what I mean? Keep going.
Count out of one kind. Verse 28. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. Verse 29. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there, both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased sore upon them. Verse 31. Now when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David, that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness, they pursued after them with a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. Verse 33.
Right. So
They
these
said
is
unto
brothers.
them,
These brothers
let
didn't
that
roll with Matt. You hear me? Can you hear me up? These brothers didn't roll with
Yeah,
Mattathias.
you good, sir.
Most High in Christ. These brothers didn't roll with Mattathias. And so what you see is the king making war against all the Israelites, right? These brothers didn't stand with the king, but they didn't roll with Mattathias either. Now keep going.
Con. And they said unto them, let that which and do according to the commandment of the king and shall live. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day.
Right.
Verse 35. So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast thy a stone at them, nor stop the places where they had laid hid. Verse 37, but said, let us die all in our innocency. Heaven and earth shall testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully.
Listen, all I can say about that is shit.
Shit.
So the king is coming against these brothers, and they're like, look, it's the Sabbath, you know, you putting us to death wrongly, man. You know we ain't supposed to do this. What do this sound like to somebody? Please tell me. Go ahead.
Christian, it's like it's a Christian,
no,
Jewish,
no. Well, Jew, yeah, you missing the main one. Fake Israelites. We can't do nothing on the Sabbath. We can't do nothing on the Sabbath. We can't turn on the light. We can't cook no food. We can't have sex with our woman. We can't even fight on the Sabbath. You're gonna sit there and get slaughtered on this because it's the Sabbath. Let me tell you something, you fake Israelites. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. You are allowed to defend yourself on a feast day, my nigga. Like, if you see a chariot and some Edomite is running up on you, defend yourself. These brothers right here did not have the spirit of the Lord. They died, and they said, let it be known this day you put us to death unjustly. And they were gone, and that's it. Not the kid. All I can say about that is shit.
Let's give Cap a hand on that one, y'all. Give Cap a hand on that one.
Go ahead. Let's keep going.
Cut out of one column. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 38. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle to the number of 1,000 people. Verse 39, when Mattathias and his friends understood thereof, they mourned for them right sore. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, to fight not for our lives and laws.
Read that part again.
And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth.
Right. So this was logical, right? Not only is it lawful to defend yourself, right? This was logical. Like if we don't fight, if they attack us on the Sabbath and we don't fight back, they'll root us all out, which is why the heathen did it in the first place. The heathen did it because he knew that we kept the Sabbath. But of course, you're keeping the Sabbath like some fake Israelite who says you can't do this and you can't do that on the Sabbath. And here you got a sword in your chest on the Sabbath. Not Mattathias. He said, you know what? If we do as our brethren have done, we're going to be rooted out. Keep going.
Verse 41. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all as our brothers that were murdered in the secret places. Verse 42. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntary, devoted unto the law. Also all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them, and were a stay unto them. Verse 44, they also joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger, and wicked men in their wrath. But the rest fled to the heathen for succor.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, so can I ask a quick question?
Go ahead.
That was Israelites, like the people who wasn't trying to get down. Okay, come on.
Yeah. So the scriptures say these was evil men. It's just like again, you know, if you'll have some of us trying to run to their daddy, you know what I mean? They try to run to their white daddy, right? But when we in power, you know what I mean, it ain't gonna be no running. Like these brothers here didn't have any honor, and so they didn't want to keep the law, and they wanted to be down with they were traitors to Israel, basically. They were traitors to Israel. So absolutely, they tried to run and find safety amongst the heathen, and these brothers, you know, were slew. Keep going.
Verse 45. Then Mattathias and his friends went round about and pulled down the altars, and what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly. Verse 47, they pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles and out of the hand of the kings.
Mm-hmm.
Neither suffered they the sinner to triumph.
Mm-hmm.
Now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now have pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction and of wrath was indignation.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 50. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law.
Read that again.
Be ye zealous for the law.
Right. Everybody should take on that spirit. Everyone should be zealous for the law. Keep going.
And give your lives for the covenant of your fathers.
Mm-hmm. Do what?
Give your lives for the covenant of your fathers.
Right. Go ahead.
Call to remembrance what acts of our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found
so heavy, man? Like Mattathias told his sons, man, look at the history of the Israelites. Look at what they sacrificed to serve the Lord. And again, you know, you looking at brothers and sisters who served the Lord unto death. They were given the option to die or serve the Lord, right? And here we are here in America, we're sinning freely. Like there's, you know, where people were given a choice to die or serve the Lord. No one's forcing you to serve the Lord now, so you can do it without punishment. And these brothers, and so Mattathias, he said, look at your ancestors, look at your forefathers, look at what they did to serve the Lord. You know what I'm saying? The sacrifices they made. A lot of people don't take a close look at Moses, man. Moses was living in the damn palace. Moses was well educated. Moses had riches. Moses was, you know, a son of Pharaoh. Same thing, you look at Joseph too. Joseph was another brother. You know, he was second in command in Egypt. You know what I mean? But what did he do? He separated his people. He chose to separate his people from the Egyptians so they can serve the Lord. You can look at many examples throughout the scriptures where brothers sacrificed so they could serve the Lord. Keep going.
Verse 52. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation?
Mm-hmm.
And it was imputed unto him for righteousness. Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Finance, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Jesus, for the fulfilling of the word, was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the inheritance of the land. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven. Ananias, Azarias, and Misael, by believing, were saved out of the flames. Salakia, sir, that's the names.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, kind of.
Yep. And look, you wanted to bring out something else on it?
Oh no, well, no, that was just how it's kind of self-explanatory, how they just stood on the law. Like they'd rather get burnt in the furnace. Like you saying, sir, we'll, you know what I'm saying? We could see Christmas ain't real or Thanksgiving is about the unalive and still will follow the ways of the heathen.
Yeah.
Like we preach to the Lord, man. We teach that, hey, you are the chosen ones of God, and our people will rather still sin against God and give it away. But if you got $1 million check, hey, this is your check. They ain't gonna get that away. They ain't give you nothing. They ain't gonna give no one nothing of that. It's so destroyed. We all so destroyed for lack of knowledge, and the scripture just remains true. Salakia, so are you?
No, that's so right. Go ahead.
Kind on one kind. Verse 60. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions. Verse 61. And thus considered ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Verse 62. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Verse 63. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall be he shall not be found, because is returned into dust, and his thought is come to nothing.
Yep.
Verse 64. Wherefore, yet ye, my sons, be valiant, and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory.
That's right.
Verse 65. And behold, I know that your brother Simeon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always, and he shall be a father unto you. As for Judas Maccabeus, he hath been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain, and fight the battle of the people.
Right. So now you see who's being assigned tasks. Right. You see basically that Judas Maccabeus, right, he's now given, basically charge of the army, of all the brothers that had band together, right? Somebody in here, Loke03, he says, what the fuck is this? This is the beginning of your end. That's what this is. This is the beginning of your end. Let's keep going.
Kind of one kind. Verse 67. Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people. Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the law. Verse 69. So he blessed them and was gathered unto his fathers. Verse 70. And he died in 146 year, and his sons buried him in the sepulchre of his fathers at Modin, and all Israel made great lamentations for him.
All right, so I believe now that brothers got a good backdrop on the time, and how this Seleucid Empire was started, dating back from Alexander, and how Seleucus was given charge over, what many parts of what would be considered the Middle East through generations. His descendants went on to rule in his stead, and eventually this Seleucid Empire made war against Jerusalem, and Jerusalem was being oppressed so heavy, like we just read. The horrible things, from murdering infants, murdering mothers, murdering people who did the circumcision, right? All these things was happening, and oppression was super deep, which led to the Maccabean revolt, which is documented in history. So again, if anyone says, if they question the validity of the Apocrypha, then they just ain't read enough history. So I would highly recommend that brothers go do a little bit more reading on that Seleucid Empire and all the different battles that they fought. Their fight against Jerusalem was only one. They had many nations that they conquered for sure. You can see he even went against his general's descendants, the Ptolemaic dynasty. He went against that as well. So before we get out of here, I just wanted to I asked Quatazar to get it, but I actually got it up. I'm just going to share real quick. So Sakan, you have brought out Galatians 3:28 earlier. Let me see if I can blow this up for y'all. Can y'all see that?
Come on, sir.
All right. It must be tough. Is it tough to see for everybody?
I see it, but I can't make it out. It's hard for me to make it out. Maybe it's my screen.
Is it small for everybody else?
No, it's big, but it's like I can't, it's hard to make the letters out. That's all.
You might need glasses, my brother.
Everything ain't funny, priest. Everything ain't funny, y'all. Keep keen the can. Go mute.
All right. So this is Galatians 3:28. Here it is. Can y'all see that? There is neither Jew nor Greek. Oh, I messed that up. Hold on one second. There's neither Jew nor Greek. Now, you go and look this up. What do we see here?
Helen.
So a lot of times when Christians pull this and they say there's neither Jew nor Greek, that Greek that is referring to, just like we talked about earlier, that Greek that it was talking about, it wasn't talking about Edomite Greeks. This Greek, Helen, is talking about a Greek either by nationality, whether a native of the mainland or the Greek islands or colonies. In a wider sense, the name embraces all nations, not Jews, that made the language custom and learning the Greeks their own. The primary reference is to a different religion and worship. Like these is inhabitants, Greek speaking, right? Greek speaking Jews. Like that's what that word means. It's not talking about anybody. This is talking about Israelites that act Greek. They were Hellenized. So I just wanted to share that. You can always pull this up when you're battling somebody, about neither Jew nor Greek. So of course that's not literal, because then it would only be talking about Jew and Greek and not about everybody else. So that's one more thing that you can add. All right. Any questions before we get ready to get out?
Sluggy, so I have one question.
Go ahead.
Those I believe when we read that the people who chose not to fight on the Sabbath, and would those be break-off groups, or is it because we didn't have a king or a ruler at that time?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I can't really say that it was a break-off group, but you had Mattathias. And Mattathias, obviously, even the king said it. Like he was honored by the people. He was a strong man. He was, he was followed. He was a leader. And so they chose not to follow him. And I can't say that they were a break-off group. I don't know. I probably had to ask General Hyman about that, but I don't think the scriptures give enough insight as to the timeline. And imagine this is Jerusalem. You got different people breaking off at different times. So I can't say that. But I can say this. They should have followed Mattathias, because Mattathias didn't die on the Sabbath. He went to war. So that was it. Any other questions? Go ahead, Sakan.
Real quick, sir. Like if I could just add, onto what you were saying. I think these be like the Israelites who want to love everybody. I don't want to bang unity camp Israelites. Like I think like the spirit they have, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are people who don't want smoke. Like those brothers, I forgot their name. I think the kneecaps of Israel in the west Coast of California. that was like, well, the UPK is too hard, pause, who said that a few years back, we are too hard, pause. If you remember that. You remember that saying? It was something funny we was talking about. Yeah, the UPK, they brothers
like that. Yeah. I mean, I can't even say that these brothers were soft because they did stand against the king. But what they didn't do was value their lives enough to fight on the Sabbath. So I can't say that they was wicked, right? You can't say that because they didn't want to follow the king. So,
Right.
you know, I think if you want to get into the nuances, it might be a good, you know, question for General Hyman scripture breakdown to kind of get the spirit behind these brothers. But I tell you this, and this is, you learn this in the school too. Every person has the right to defend themselves. So you're not bound by the Sabbath. And again, you gotta know that the Sabbath is made for you. So if you got to kick ass on the Sabbath, you got to kick ass on the Sabbath, and that's that. So, any more questions? No, Most High in Christ. All right, Akim. So for the closing, of course, we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this. There's a ton of excellent scriptures and stories in the book, the two books of the Maccabees. We kind of got some of the history and a little bit of the background, how the revolt started, and then, like I said, we'll get into the meat and potatoes next time, and that's it. So we'll I'm gonna see y'all for the closing day. Salakia too, man. The roads was real bad for the three cities to come together. I pray that y'all brothers got a good feast at the crib. Lord willing, will the weather be more permitting for us to come together and enjoy the brotherhood. The sisters, I'm sure, was ready to throw down. I still ate good, Salakia. I still ate good at the crib. You know what I'm saying? The rib threw down, but Lord willing, man, we can we'll all link up for the closing of this. And we want all Israel in Southern Ohio to come out. You in Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, and everywhere in between come out. We'll put out the flyer for brothers and sisters to look us up and come and enjoy the the food, the scriptures, brotherhood, sisterhood, had the kids running around, all that great stuff. So with that, Akim, Mama say shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahshua Barakathum.
Yahweh Bashem,
Yahweh Bashem, Yahshua Barakathum.